One thing I'm big on is respect. Okay, I always lead with respect. A saying that I got is I lead with respect because I want to teach other people how to be respectful from someone who can be very disrespectful. Okay, I've learned this over time. Life has humbled me, shown me all about respect. Respect is a big thing for me. Um, those of uh, those of you who have had the fortunate or unfortunate um, circumstance of being incarcerated know how much respect is. Respect is everything. Respect is paramount, right? Respect isn't given; it's earned. You've heard that before. Respect isn't given; it's earned. And the great leaders of history and sports, military, whatever have you, they've proven this truth over and over again. From Napoleon on the battlefield, I've recently started reading quotes by John Wooden on the basketball court. Just timeless principles is what the basic foundation pattern is. And 10 ways to gain respect. I'm going to talk about 10 ways to gain respect that I've learned from my experience from reading. And number one, I've said this before, it always going to go back to your health. Being in shape, your physical presence matters. Now, um, I mentioned Napoleon earlier. Napoleon was always caricatured as this little man syndrome, Napoleon complex. But I read how Napoleon was revered for his stamina, and how he often rode alongside his men for hours, and he um, he would refuse having the comforts that they couldn't have. He very well could have um, indulged in whatever could have made his journey alongside his men easier. He very well could have indulged with that, but um, he endured the same hardships that they did. Um, so he refused the comforts that they couldn't have, and that's how he gained respect. Um, he was known to laugh and joke with his troops. Um, but again, he was in shape. He was known to be in shape. Actually, he's known for his physical stamina, and so that's how he gained respect. Um, that shows the discipline that he had in his body and in his mind. Yeah. Malcolm X said, "The future belongs to those who prepare for it." That speaks to preparation. Everything in life is about preparation. You're always getting ready to be ready. You're always getting ready to get ready. And uh, me personally, I train like I'm every day, or every day that I train like I'm preparing myself because you just never know, and it's just a good practice. And the fruits show. People respect me, and I know it's because of my physical presence. Humbly speaking. Um, and that speaks to number two. I respect myself first. Um, I mentioned John Wooden before. He said, "Respect yourself, and others will respect you." That's a simple, basic truth that many of us fail to really embody. Respect for ourselves. It will show. Again, it will show in how your physical presence, your stature, how you show up in the room. Um, it'll show when you start to cut corners, when you start to lower your standards for yourself and for others. You'll tolerate more disrespect, and then eventually no one will hold you in that high regard because true respect begins with self-respect. Furthermore, with that is valuing your time, respecting your time. Um, you have famous figures from history who were very dogmatic about their time. Winston Churchill, even during war, he famously scheduled his day down to the minute, down to he scheduled his rest He scheduled his naps. He scheduled his meal time. He scheduled his time to learn. And I think a quote from him was, "Let our advanced worrying become advanced thinking and planning." So instead of worrying, and I found that to be true, instead of worrying, I get to more planning and thinking. So respect your own time, and others will follow. I've never met a man. One of my mentors said, I've quoted this 1,000 times. You'll never meet a poor man who truly values their time and who respects a poor man. That goes to my next point, number 4, leading by example. Um, Nick Saban, I've been reading some of his books. Nick Saban is known for his process, right? Um, he talks about how he never asked players, and this resonated with me because I said this to one of my teams that I'm over. I said I will never ask anybody to do what I'm not prepared to do. I never ask people to do what I want uphold to myself when it comes to preparation, when it comes to discipline, and when it comes to standards. I'm a leader who um, I walk my talk, and that inspires the loyalty that I have in my endeavors, in my certain arena. I've engendered a certain amount of loyalty because I lead by example. And furthermore, we talked about standards. On that, in addition to that, of standards is just having a conviction. Okay, you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. Malcolm X said that, I believe. Um, and even in the face of critics, you have to have an unshakable belief in what you're doing, courage, clarity. These are things that are respected. When you have a clear vision and when you have the courage to push through that vision, despite any challenges, despite criticism, that creates an unshakable aura. It really does. And that's how you gain ultimate respect for people. You'll be able to speak with confidence. It's number 6. Okay. I've mentioned Winston Churchill, who I've read extensively about. He's known for his speeches. You know, we shall never surrender. He galvanized the whole nation because he spoke with such certainty, confidence. So confidence is something that you can fake it, but really the best way is to, again, value yourself, value your time, get your discipline, your habits together, and then you will naturally develop an unshakable confidence that just cannot be, um, you can't make it up. And it'll just exude in your presence. And that will lead to consistency. Well, that is the outgrowth of consistency, right? It's the little details that are vital. It's the little things that make big things happen. Um, it's what makes you dependable. Dependable, dependability garners respect. When people know they can depend on you, that's where real respect comes. When you have people depending on you, it forces you to learn. Number 8, continuously learn. Again, one of my favorite figures, Mr. Napoleon. He was a voracious learner, voracious reader of history, law, strategy. He would stay up late into the night reading. He would bring his library with him on campaigns, and that's what made him formidable. His knowledge, um, that's always sharpening your edge. That has to be respected. When people see that you are always um, pushing the limits to your development, that's to be respected. Okay, the natural outgrowth of that is going to be more goals. Um, your standards are always going to be raising because your capability will always be raising. your horizon, your vision, your your ideas will broaden, your perspective will broaden, your the openness to possibilities will continue to grow. And when that grows and you pursue those things relentlessly, that's when respect grows. People want to get on your team because they see that you have a purpose, you have a goal, and you're pursuing it. And that's how you galvanize people because they see that you have the focus and that you have the ability, regardless of setbacks, to make things happen. And the natural progression to that is just true authenticity. Um, I mentioned Malcolm X; it's one of my favorite figures as well. If you haven't noticed, a theme is how I study the past, how I study great leaders of the past, and really read about them and what made them special. Malcolm X evolved, right? He admitted when he was young um, all the things that he did, and he was authentic to the world, and that made him magnetic. Um, he didn't try to fake where he came from. He let that be his story, and let that stand as a testament to who he was at the moment, at present. And people respect the man who was unafraid to be himself. Okay, so the final thought to that is that respect is just a daily grind. It's something that you build over time. It's discipline, it's integrity, it's conviction, authenticity, and it's what we do um, when we don't necessarily feel like it. Churchill said something like, "It is not enough that we do our best. Sometimes we must do what is required." And man, if that is the truth, we have to do with what is required. So if you live by these 10 rules, these 10 principles, guarantee you the respect will follow you naturally and all the benefits thereof will happen in your life. That's all I have for you today. Peace and blessings.